Change is automatic, progress is not.
Good morning, welcome back to Blurred Summits. Today on Gratitude Friday, we're going to be talking about embracing the change in our lives. So we're going to look at change in general, the pros and cons of it, and then we're going to reflect on the blessings of change that we've experienced in our lives. So Abdul, do you want to tell us a little bit about what change is and the way that we're looking to discuss it?
Yeah. So we're talking about life-altering experiences, right?
The crazy stuff? Like the big things?
The big things. We're talking about the big things, right? Like the little stuff happens all the time.
Like you don't have to worry about it.
But like the big things are really anxiety-inducing, like graduating high school, going off to post-secondary education, like moving houses, moving countries,
like truly life-altering things.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
just the little things.
Like the big stuff, the stuff that sticks with you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't forget about it for a long time.
Yeah. So, what has changed that you've experienced in this way so far?
Yeah. Well, the obvious ones are school changes. The less obvious ones are maybe experience changes. So like, for example, my involvement in public fields, quote unquote, has been a big change. Like this podcast, for example.
Yeah.
This podcast is a big change for both of us because neither one of us are naturally inclined to social media.
Yeah, our social media presence is non-existent until 3 weeks ago when we started doing this.
Exactly.
Like we both have one picture?
The only picture I've ever uploaded on social media went up this summer.
And mine was last summer. Mine was 2019. No, yeah. 2019. Wait. Yeah, 2019.
Summer
before. So it's been like a year and a half. So it's...
Which is crazy that I don't post on my story. I don't really do none of that. So I didn't even have Instagram for a minute.
Like you've been off and on it.
Yeah. I was I think right before this summer I was off it for maybe 8 months, 10 months, something like that. And I re-downloaded it. And now we're getting to this thing, it's like uploading every single day. It's public.
All over the internet 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Like full on 30 minutes telling people about us, right?
This entire thing could blow up in our face. But I think that's kind of good. That it could. Not that it will, because it won't.
No.
Hopefully.
Well, the potential of it, yeah, actually, I don't know how it could so far. I think we've been pretty...
Yeah.
We haven't said anything too extreme so far. But...
Yeah, well, no, it's just like...
It's taking risks. It's taking a bit of a risk.
That's exactly what it is there's a large potential for us to fail with this podcast. Because it's our first time in the field. Like, if somebody...
From where there's not much of a risk. No, I'm thinking that there's no risk for us. Because what's the worst that happens? We don't get views? Oh, wow.
No, but it's more likely that we don't.
Yeah, but the only way for us to go is up, right?
Yeah, that's
true. What it is. Like, we are starting from ground zero.
That is very true.
So what happens if nothing happens? We stay at ground zero.
That is actually pretty true. That's a pretty good perspective.
It goes up, right? The only way we can go is up.
We ain't got nothing to lose.
It's not like we got giant social media following and then we do this and then people stop following us.
That's right.
That's them going down. We start from no social media presence with nothing behind us to really back it.
It's like a bittersweet because we do have to start off smaller. We don't have a foundation. We don't really know the scene as much and like how to do a lot of the things, but there's
no risk of losing anyone.
There's no risk of losing, right? You don't have to really be watching your back. You're the underdog, bro. We're the underdogs.
Word. Well, I guess that's looking back to change, right? It's changing, looking at it from this perspective, right? What are the possible outcomes of it? And like I guess in the perspective I look there, it's low risk, high reward for this.
Yeah.
Right? And that's I mean, a lot of experiences are like that people think.
Well, it's low risk, low reward.
No,
or potential for high reward.
The open-endedness it's so big, right?
Low risk, high potential.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. But that's what it is, right? There's so much to go from. Like it's so open.
Yeah.
That sure, 100%. Like this, we're not setting a bound on when this is going to end, right? So
yeah,
if the ends are.
Why do you think change is scary?
Change is scary because of the unknown. It's the unknown, the unsettling experiences that you don't know, and the perceived loss that you have from change, right? So through that, the unknown, people are scared of what is on the other side of something. Like say the changing schools, they don't know changing schools what the new social scene is going to be like. They don't know where their friends are going to be, lose friends, gain friends, that side of things, right? This the fresh start of that side of things. With like the unsettling experience as well, it's kind of like that new thing. You have to meet new friends, new teachers, new expectations. You're unsure of all that, right? So I guess we'll stick with the school one because it has all that. Lots of people can experience that going from junior high, elementary that way, right?
Yeah. It's also like I think the reason that unknown is scary is because it's hard to evaluate risk. You know what I'm saying? When it's unknown.
When you don't know what's on the other side of it.
Exactly. Like it's kind of, if we're talking from like a biological perspective, like imagine a long time ago, people had to really evaluate risk, because if I don't know the animal in front of me, is it dangerous, is it not dangerous, then I won't know, is it going to kill me, is it not going to kill me, right? And because of that unknown, it increases that worry, like we're completely afraid of something, even if it's pretty good for us. And I feel like generally speaking, change is a positive force.
Yeah, like there's very few aspects where it's innately negative.
Yeah.
But yeah, in most point, it's almost always a positive.
What do you think is a negative of change?
Like if you have to move countries, I think the only real negative is if you lose friends, per se. Like you lose those tight connections if you're trying to like, it has to be on the extremes. Like you're moving countries, you're moving across from like West Coast, East Coast. That's about it. But then again, if those friendships are really true, they'll still hold on, right?
Yeah.
But it is the negative is the detriment of thinking of these possible losses. So there's really nothing that is always a negative with change, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, one of the things that I really like is the idea that, how should we approach change? What should be the mindset behind approaching change? And I feel like the mindset behind approaching change is just one where you're grateful for what you used to have. So not really attacking that thing that you used to have, and then appreciating what you are getting,
like the new opportunities.
Exactly, right? And so, for example, let's say that you lose some friendships. The easy approach is to be like, no, screw those guys. Like, this is such garbage. Like, I deserve better. I'm a good person. I should have friends forever. All that kind of stuff. Instead of that, why don't you just be appreciative of the experiences that you had with those friends?
Well, that plus the new amount of friendships you're able to have.
Exactly. Like, you're going to have some new friends where you're going to have a lot of really amazing experiences with them. And the friends in the past, you had some great times with them.
And
like, don't throw those all away. Don't ruin years of memories for a couple of moments of anger.
Yeah, like you gotta just hold on to those ones, right? Like, take those with you on your life.
Yeah.
And even if you do, move country and you lose some friends, the odds of you losing all your friends is like so low, right? So at least hold on to a couple from back home, and you'll probably make more friends in the new city than you had to begin with, right?
Yeah.
Meet one person who meets a friend group, and it just goes on and on.
Have you ever moved?
No, I haven't.
You've been here, hey? The entire life?
I know you've moved cities a couple times.
I moved cities a couple times, yeah. We used to live in Vancouver, and where did we live before that? I don't know. Before that, we lived in Saudi Arabia. I think it was the Middle East.
But you were pretty young when all this happened, right?
Oh, super young. I think we moved to Vancouver when I was in preschool. And I think we were there for maybe 2 years, and then we moved here.
Yeah, because that's when I met you at the Hamptons, right?
Yeah. No, but before the Hamptons, I used to live in Southwest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to live in Southwest. I used to go to this other school. Bro, I still remember this guy. He was my best friend in the Southwest school. His name was Chris. His name was Chris. I don't remember what happened to... Bro, there's two people I'm trying to find. There's Chris and Steve. Bro, do you know who Steve was? In grade 5, Steve was my friend in grade 5.
Oh, yeah, because you're in the other...
I was in, like, a separate class without any of the other grade 5, and it was, like, just me and Steve, and he was, like, my best buddy in grade 5.
Didn't you have, like, Mason and those guys?
Nah, bro. Mason...
Or was he in my class?
No. Mason was not with me and Steve. He was not. I don't remember. But anyways, Steve... No, he wasn't. Mason was grade 4.
Oh, word. Then he was in my class.
Yeah.
He was in my class then. Interesting, yeah. So back to this Steve.
Yeah,
dude.
Steve moved to Grand Prairie. But I don't know what happened to him. I really hope he's doing great. If Steve is out there...
You can go back in the yearbook, find his last name, and you're good.
Yeah, but I don't know where he is.
Just look him up on like Instagram or like LinkedIn or something.
Yeah, I don't think I have a yearbook. They didn't give out yearbooks back then.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
yearbooks.
Think about Kyle. Kyle
in
has all
elementary school. No,
we have them at the Hamptons, bro. Think about all the ones Kyle has. Looking back at the people.
No, they give you pictures, class photos, but not a yearbook.
No yearbook. He had
Really?
a yearbook. Yeah.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
No way.
I just never bought one because it was pointless.
Damn, I wonder if I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Steve,
I know
I'm
we'll have both people that don't have it for sure. So
yeah, but I remember like when.
Okay, what is?
No, the point of this is this, right? Like Steve, for example, I don't look back and think like, oh, I lost somebody and Steve, screw Steve, right? Like screw you, Steve, for leaving and all this kind of stuff. I just appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
It's a good memory.
It's a good memory. It holds a special place in my heart. I wish him the best. Even if I never interact with Steve ever again, right? It was still an amazing experience. And I feel like that mindset of just being appreciative of the people in your past rather than attacking them or maybe attacking yourself is a more positive way to look at life.
Yeah, it definitely makes a lot of sense with that, right? Like why would you ruin these memories that you have because they're not there anymore? Right?
Yeah.
Like I think it's kind of like it happening a long time ago, kind of being like a bit of bias towards it. Like, oh, this person's not there anymore. It doesn't really matter. Oh well, forget about it. Everyone has that kind of recent. I guess it would be more of a recency bias where they like to look at things that happened past 6 months, past whatever, and only look at those.
Yeah.
So by looking back at those ones way back, you can then gain a whole lot of, I guess, value behind that change, right?
Yeah. I also wonder if like there's another cognitive bias now that you mentioned it, where it says that when we look at mistakes that we make, we attribute them to external things. So like, let's say I did bad on an exam, then it's the exam's fault because the exam was very difficult. But when we look at other people's mistakes, let's say you did bad on an exam, I'm like, well,
you're so dumb.
Yeah, you're so dumb. You didn't study hard enough. You know what I'm saying? And so maybe that plays into the idea of change and with like friendships and old relationships that have been lost, where we point to the other person as the one to be at fault for this happening, right?
But from an outside, yeah. If you're looking at someone else, it's like, oh, it's your fault for letting that happen with this person.
Yeah.
When really, it almost all the time, though, it's both people in any of those changes.
It's 100% mutual.
But,
yeah. No, go ahead.
So what's a better way to approach change then, you think, in this way?
Yeah, well, I think the best way to approach change is with gratitude, right? To take the things that have happened in your life and be grateful for them. Be grateful for the things that are going to come, and then be grateful for the things that have passed, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
Right? One of the really beautiful things about change that I like, it's a bittersweet, is that change is inevitable.
Yep.
And so this truth is a positive and a negative, right? It's a negative because we don't want things to change.
Like, we innately want things to be the status quo.
Yeah, exactly. So that in that sense, it kind of sucks to know that fact. But the positive is that when you can accept the inevitability of change, then you're liberated from the things that are keeping you chained down. Right?
So the lack of change is the shackles at your ankles, and through changing, it pulls the shackles off, and you're free to roam.
You are free to roam, right? And I think that's a pretty interesting idea to think about and to embody, is like, if change is inevitable, then it's something that should be embraced.
Yeah.
Right? I have a good friend of ours as well. He's really good with change. He's moved around far more than I have. Far more than I have. And he's moved around the entire world. And I remember I was in grade 7. I was in grade 9. I was in grade 9, and he was moving in grade 9. And you're thinking back in the memory banks. You'll figure it out soon.
Okay, I know who doesn't. Never mind.
And he was moving away in grade 9, and I asked him, I was like, man, are you afraid? He's moving halfway across the world. And I was like, man, are you afraid? And he was like, no, I like change. You know, like, I appreciate change. And that kind of hit me hard, bro. I was like, what are you talking about, appreciate change, bro? Like, I don't want my friend circle to change. And you're moving halfway across the world to where you don't know anybody, you don't know anything, and you're appreciative of it. And that kind of hit me hard, and it made me see things in a different light.
Yeah, I think that change in perspective really is everyone can do that, right? Like, not many people realize all it is. You just have to change the way you're looking at something, and it opens up a whole new can of thoughts and beliefs with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone's so close. It's like change is bad. Change is bad. Change, like you said, inevitable. So embrace that change.
Right.
Make the most out of every moment. Like you can make the most out of every moment with these people because sometimes you never know. Will they be one of the people that change, go away, move, all these things, right?
Yeah. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Right. What is a change that's happened in your life that, you know, something positive has come out of it? Now that you're looking back, like maybe in the moment you thought it was bad, but looking back, you're saying, wow, this was a blessing.
There's like so many different changes with that stuff. I
Give
think
me
the
one.
school is a big one, like going from high school to university. That's one where it's like the amount of like stress and like worry about the unknown with that. Like that's what a lot of it's not sure what to expect, how to do it, right?
Yeah.
And then looking back, I realized I just had to embrace the new challenge of university.
And has it been positive?
It has, yeah. I mean, it has. It kind of had like a trough at the start, but it's obviously then as soon as you start to embrace the challenge, embrace all the change, embrace the different parts of it.
Yeah.
It goes a long, long way. Like I didn't really meet any new people, talk to many new people for probably the first semester. And then second semester, met some new people, talked to a lot of people, embraced with the university side of things. And it was so positive, right? Because in high school, so many of our friends went away for school and all this other stuff, right? So it's different, right?
Yeah.
So you just got to meet new people, make the most out of those experiences.
In terms of academic differences, I would say that's the biggest. Between high school and college/university, that's the biggest change. Because, you know, junior high school, like, it's all the same stuff. It's the same stuff. But then when you really hop into that, I think that's a big... And then I think once we finish schooling in general and enter the workforce, I think that's probably the biggest jump.
Yeah.
So how are you looking forward to that?
I don't know. That's one that's interesting right now. Like I haven't really too focused. That's one where I'm like, I'll worry about it when I get there.
Right.
We still got at least at the very, very, very least, another year till it happens.
Do you know?
Probably more though, but
I think the biggest challenge with going into the workforce is going to be how much smaller our social circles become. Because right now, even though we're at university, we still have a population of people around us who are willing to meet new people, right? They care about this stuff. They're new as well. They want to meet new friends. They want to talk to people. They want to have different experiences. But then when you enter into the workforce, then you're not in an environment where those people actually exist.
But I think you're wrong there.
Really?
I think as you get into a workforce, you've got your new job. Everyone there's in the same boat as you, right? You're trying to meet new people. That's why you get so many people have work friends and stuff, right?
Interesting.
Because they're all looking for that same.
So you think it's the same thing? Like it's
the same
different,
mentality. But it's the same idea, right?
Right.
It's like the new environment thing. You want to meet new people. Everyone's in the same thing, right? Kind of tucked off away. But there's a bit more of a team environment at work, right? I think it might almost be easier to do it at work than it would be at university.
Because it's more collaborative.
And you're tighter with this smaller, I guess, with your team of whoever you're working with within the company, people around you, right? You innately get to know them.
That's interesting.
Like I found it's so much easier to meet, like I know I'm not sure how much experience you have with like working in like kind of like other outside apart from the coding and all that, but
yeah, like I've worked in a couple of different things, but it's like camp counseling and like running different workshops and
but
stuff
it's
like
so
that.
easy for like I found like in all like,
you do become closer.
Jobs,
that's right.
You get closer to everyone. Like even when I worked at Callaway Park,
that's
right.
It was
close. COP, same thing, right? Like, and even now with this new one, I've got tight with a couple of the guys there.
That is true.
It's super. I think it's easier to meet people there. Like, I meet more people there and talk to more people that way than I do at school.
Interesting.
I think probably in all my years,
Yeah, because some of my close friends came out of those jobs where you're with a person for a long period of time, you know, for dedicated hours and stuff like that. I never thought about it.
It's kind of forced, but it then becomes natural, right?
Yeah, unless you hate the person, then you're screwed.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people there, right? So you can just kind of pick and choose other people.
Right.
But I think it is. When you look at it from the outside, it looks way, way, way different. But at the core of it, the foundation is the same. It's people trying to meet new people. Sure, the task is different. School, the task is education. At work, the task is whatever your job is.
Right.
At the core of it, it is someone trying to meet new people in the environment around them.
It's the same foundation, different circumstances.
Yeah. Different stucco on the outside of the house.
Exactly. Different paint.
Yeah.
But it's the same foundation.
Exactly, bro. Same house.
Yeah. It's the same house. That's pretty cool.
I think it's an interesting way to look at it because it really is. Everything's the same. Everyone is looking for the same things. They're looking for long-lasting friendships, relationships, and looking for something to do in their free time. You just got to find people with common interests, and you're set, right?
Yeah. The best thing I've found is if you're trying to have meaningful connections, is don't just go out into the general public and try and find friends that way. Join clubs and activities and projects and meet friends through that, because you're more likely to find people with similar mindsets to you. You're more likely to find people, you're more likely to develop a more deep connection with them because you're working with them for a longer period rather than just some random person on the street.
But that's why the work environment is so perfect for that.
That is true.
That experience, like you said, same environment. It's basically that. Like you're in there for the exact same thing. Most people do a job because it interests them, right? So like me, I worked at, however you want to tense it, at a golf dome.
You were fired, weren't you?
No, I think I'm still technically employed, but it's up in the air. But yeah, like everyone there likes golf, right? So it's easy. You got that common talking point. It's easy. Like sure, it's a little awkward first because you're meeting new people, but you can break that ice so easy.
Yeah.
Like you get through that ice and then it's just casual, right?
That is true. That's interesting. I never actually thought about it like that. Yeah, I was more thinking of it from the perspective of,
everyone's like lone wolf sort of thing, right?
No, I'm saying like outside the work environment.
Oh,
you're alone in the world type
that side you are, yeah.
Yeah. But I guess still the circumstances are still the same.
Like the work environment replaces a school environment.
Exactly.
And you can still go do your extracurriculars. You can go do your sports, the gym, all these other things which are still there.
Interesting.
It's just you
pretty
flip the one
exciting
with the other.
I don't know. I'm kind of excited.
I think that almost makes it almost. I was kind of iffy at first, but that kind of makes it look, hey,
we've convinced ourselves that this change is going to be amazing. That's funny.
Hopefully it is, right? But I think the important thing is looking at it from an optimistic perspective just to begin with. And then you'll realize that it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, you can find the good even when it's not obvious in front of you.
And I think that's something that if you can do that, it makes yourself so powerful in the world, right? Because so many people are in the negative thing, where even if there's a haystack full of good things, they'll find the needle, which is the one negative.
Yeah.
So if you're in a needle or in a haystack full of needles and you're looking for that one single piece of hay, they're not even going to look. They'll just pick off the bad stuff off the top, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, awesome. Well, great discussion today. If you guys want to listen to the full podcast on audio, you can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Pandora. If you want to watch the video podcast, you can catch us on YouTube. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, where we're going to be posting daily clips for you guys and hopefully interacting as much as possible. Thank you so much for watching.